I think I want to start with the same question as Saturday. It's a great way to win a game.
Yeah, it is, yeah. It's a good feeling, without a doubt, because it was hard work tonight. It was, the conditions were horrendous, weren't they, with the heavy rain in the pitch, and credit to both teams that they kept going. I was very impressed with Lincoln. I'd watched them, I knew they were a good passing team, but I thought tonight they was excellent. The movement of the ball caused us a lot of problems. I felt we were comfortable, but we never really had any sort of control on the game. But sometimes that happens. You've got to respect the opponent. Generally, they never really opened us up again, but we was having to do a lot of work to stop them getting through us. To let them score in the last sort of 30 seconds of the first half again is, and it's a tough one, isn't it? Because you could see how hard the lads had worked to stay in the game, and then for them to score, to go in at half time was quite tough. But we've got to remember, for all their good play, we actually had the 3 best chances. So I said to the lads, you've got to stay in games, and we said this before, and chances will come. And we had chances first half. But I felt at half time I needed to try and change something, because I could see how tired we were getting. Obviously, being 1-0 down, we needed to try and get back in the game. So we just tweaked it a little bit. I made a change. The front two had worked hard, but had no impact in the game. So we sort of matched up against them a little bit more in the midfield, and went more of a 4-3-3. And I thought it stopped their patterns. Certainly the first sort of 20-25 minutes, I thought we sort of got back in the game a bit more. Now the problem you get when you work as hard as we did without the ball, when you get that transition, I'm demanding of the players, right, now we have to pass the ball. But when you've worked so hard to win the ball back, it's then very difficult to get our game going, and that was a problem that we had. So I was pleased the way we stayed in the game, and then we had, obviously, Gibbo had a great chance, didn't he, when he went through, and you think, so that was a hard one to take, and then we scored a great goal, and then it was a case then I felt that, okay, let's just try and stay solid, and I didn't mind, if you like, taking it to penalties.
That first 45 minutes, it looked like it was a tactic that we were comfortable letting them have the possession. Is that the way you set the boys up? Well,
we wanted to. I didn't want us to go, because I knew they'd pass it around really well. I didn't want us to use loads of energy, if you like, in their defensive third. So the idea was to try and get a block in the middle of the pitch. So it's a mid-block. Because when we did win it, they were wide open. And if we'd had a little bit more quality and composure and found a few more passes, we could have created more chances. That was my only frustration, really. So we worked on a mid-block. We worked on certain areas of when to press, and we did okay at that, because they had good movement, but never really opened us up. They got into some dangerous areas, but Mark didn't really make a save. So I'd expect us to be better on the ball. We've got to demand to be better on the ball, but I can't complain. The lads worked so hard, and the quality of the penalties was fantastic. So we'd not really worked on them. It was just a case of who had the most legs, and I thought that they was really brave to take them and showed a lot of quality.
The manner of the goal conceded, we didn't allow ourselves to get pulled apart a little bit. How angry were you heading up that tunnel at half time?
Well, I was, because of the timing of it. I'm thinking going at half time, and I already had in my mind to try and change it a little bit. So that made me mind up. We had to. I didn't want to just sit back and be 1-0 down. I'll have to look at it again. They did get in. I can't really remember how. So we will look at that. But I would say today that you've got to give Lincoln a lot of credit for the way they pass and move. They were a good side.
We could have let heads drop after Gibbo missed, but what a way to score that goal. Manny's turn, Jack Armour, he'd followed it all the way and finished it off.
Yeah, no, we've got a good spirit in there. They're working really hard for each other, and the more games we have like the last game and tonight is going to give more confidence to the players. They know that we can stay in games, and it's just in key moments. I mean, we had some really good chances tonight. Luckily we took one, and then we showed some bottle and ability to take the penalties.
How did you choose who was taking those penalties, or did the boys decide?
Bit of both. It was like who felt like their legs were okay. I mean, it's always good to get a few subs that are obviously a bit fresher. I would never make a player take a penalty. It's how they feel at the moment. So they all put their hands up, and it was just a case of trying to get the order right. So I mean, you could say we sort of hit the target on all five, really. I mean, John's hit the post, crossbar, whatever it was. But the rest of the penalties I thought were excellent. So delighted, really pleased, because you work so hard, and if you don't win the game, obviously you've got to pick them up again. So we haven't got to do that now. We've got to rest, recover, and then we look forward to Saturday.
A young lad, homegrown talent, takes the final penalty. He's not the oldest player in the group. What does that say about Taylor?
It shows he's got a lot of ability. He's got a great left foot. He's got confidence in himself and belief. So he's got a lot to learn, but he's got a lot going for him as well. So and it was a great pen, wasn't it? I mean, the keeper had no chance with some of them. Like Brad's little skip. Oh, I just said to him before the pens, make your mind up when you're walking up there. Make your mind up what you're going to do. It doesn't matter what the goalkeeper does. Keep your head down and just focus on what you're going to do. And then if the keeper saves it, or then sometimes they do. And Mark was unlucky. He got near the near few. So no, we're really pleased, because it's a tough night weather-wise, and the fans that turned up probably quite enjoyed it in the end. They
were noisy, weren't they? It shows again. It's the same as Saturday. If we give them something, they respond.
Yeah, they will have enjoyed, probably not the performance, because we was under pressure and they had a lot of possession, but they also have to understand that that's going to be like that sometimes. So if we have key moments in games and we take them, then that's enough, and that's the way we are, and that's the way we have to be.
What's the last 4 days done for confidence in that dressing room?
Yeah, really good. I mean, there's a real spirit. I'm trying to, on one hand, pick the strongest team to win the game, but I'm also wary of some tired legs. So I have to be so careful with some of the players that I'm picking. It's not ideal having these 4 games coming up, but if you win them, you don't feel so tired come Thursday, do you? So I'm sure they'll be in a lot better spirits Thursday than if we'd lost the pens.
Just going off at half time, was that planned, or is there a little problem there?
No problems. No, I just felt that it wasn't working. Him and Sam, it wasn't a good night for them tonight. That they tried. They were probably, circumstances really dictated the change. I had to change it. So I want to try and freshen the team up when I can, and that's what I was thinking tonight. But the way the game went, you also want to win it, and we stayed in it, and luckily with the quality of the penalties, we won the game.
I know I asked you this, I think it was yesterday, but any more news on Joe Riley, Brendan Dickinson, any light at the end of the tunnel for those lads?
Joe's seeing a specialist tomorrow, so we should know more. Brennan is still feeling it, so he's not trained yet, so we'll have to see over the next couple of days. So there's some tired legs in there.
Last one from me, boss. You said this yesterday as well. These competitions get exciting as you start to chip through the rounds, and last 16, something's there.
Well, I always try and think of some sort of theme for games. It could be anything. Just comes to me that I just think, rather than just standing and say tactics, I always try and think of something. And I just thought, well, I sort of remember people telling me the record the club's had in this competition. So I said to Jacob, the analyst, find me some clips and pictures of the fans at Wembley. And that's what we did. Before I spoke about any tactics, I showed them pictures of Carlisle fans at Wembley and said to them, you're 4 games away from being here. That's how important this game, you do not know where this could take you. So don't dismiss it, or not saying we would have, but have that little bit of edge that you know now we're in the last 16. It's not like we're in the FA Cup third round where you're going to get a Premier League team, is it? So we know the level of teams in the competition. Why not dream of going to Wembley? I mean, how many players actually can say they've played at Wembley? So I don't know whether it made a difference, but it made me feel better.
That's your time.